we wanted to make sure you have the right piece of equipment for the right job. Okay, so as you look through here, there's going to be types of fire extinguishers with different types of classes. Each one has a responsibility. So a type A, if you look at your second sheet, is for ordinary trash such as paper, wood, cloth, that kind of stuff. A class B is for flammable liquids. All right, so combustible liquids such as gas, paint, thinners, propane, those kind of things, right? That's a class B. A class C is designed for electrical work, any kind of electrical appliances, electrical fires or switches or panels. And then D is for certain metals such as magnesium or sodium that could possibly explode. And you're gonna have this kind of a tag on here that'll give you an idea of what your fire extinguisher is. Okay, as you gotta kind of go through here, it gives you the pass through here. All right, it gives you the identifier here. And what this means here, you got warning in different types of languages of the pressure and what it could be explode if it's exposed to high heat. So those are just warning labels that you need to make sure you look at when you're getting ready to use any equipment. And once you determine which one you're going to use for your activity, then you have to inspect it. What's the 5 steps to inspecting a fire extinguisher? Number 1, they call it the heft test, also called the serial test. So what you do is you take it and make sure you shake it, flip it over, you seal it kind of go down to the top, it's upside down, and you flip it back over. I mean, there's not really a number set. I mean, Austin mentioned 10 times is a pretty good rule of thumb. Okay, there's not really anything written that says, hey, this is how much you do it, but it's good, okay, to have it. So flip it back and forth, make sure it's full. The 20 pounders are a little more heavier, so maybe, you know, you'll have a little bit of a disadvantage of trying to hold it that long. But make sure there's something in there, you can feel it, okay? That's a heft test. Second part is making sure, visual test, is you have the pin in here so it doesn't collapse accidentally. And there's also this thing called a 14-pound tamper seal. It's all looks similar to a zip tie, but it's you can break it. All right. So that needs to be in place with the pin, the holder, and then your gauge. Okay. So the gauge is very simple to read. Okay. It's a gauge with a little sliver, a round gauge with a little sliver of green. Now it's okay to be a little bit overcharged, but you can't have it discharged. Okay, so as you look at this one right here, this one shows pretty close to the end of the overcharge or charge side, so that's fine. And when you get down to this side over here where it's recharged, you got to make sure you're getting it taken care of. Okay. The other side of it, check the hoses. Everything, just like anything else you use, make sure that whatever it's the carrying case, which is our tank here, doesn't have broken welds, it's not rusted, it's not dented. There's not pieces or chunks missing, so just make sure overall good condition. The hoses need to be solid. Every now and then you'll go to the job site, you'll see hoses that got paint, drywall, monocoat, whatever on it. I mean, you can see if it's structurally sound or not. Right? And the last part is tags. Okay, there's 2 parts to the tag. One tag that we have is one that we check every month. Okay, so once we go through this process and you know how to inspect this, we are required to do a monthly inspection on these, and there's a tag that has a monthly inspection. Now all you do is you do these 5 steps, check the inspection tag, you sign it off for the month of, for us, June today, okay? The other part about it is that we have what we call an annual inspection that's required for every fire extinguisher. And what that means is we need to send it to a certified location that they can do a static test on it. Make sure it's full, make sure it's functioning, make sure the case is good, the pressure is good, they put pressure on it, make it good. And what that does is that gives us an opportunity, like for us, we have an annual here from Spearhead Fire, and what it is they give us an opportunity. They say, okay, September of 2019 was when this one was annually tested. Now the last part we're going to talk about is using the portable fire extinguisher. Okay, we've got the PASS acronym: pull the pin, aim the nozzle at the base of the flame, squeeze the trigger, and sweep the extinguisher from side to side. So what that means, without going into the physical side of it, is you go from here, right, and you go base of fire and sweep back and forth.
Some other general requirements regarding fire extinguishers. Remember to have a fire extinguisher provided every 3,000 feet, and protected areas